Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, the Targeted Individual Experience. This video here, it's quite disturbing. Okay, here you have a decorated Navy veteran, a black woman, who you will see is pouring gasoline on the childhood home of Dr. Martin Luther King. Okay, on the day that it just so happens to have two of New York City Predator police officers at the scene. This happened after this woman went missing for 2 days. And she shows up with a can of gasoline, okay, pouring it on the childhood home of Dr. Martin Luther King. And then you have two of New York finest Predator Department officers at the scene, right? Now, many people will look at this and will not even think twice about it, okay? But being a targeted individual and knowing how I have been conditioned, programmed, brainwashed, right, and how the New York City Predator Department has been the one who uh, did this to me, as well as the FBI and the CIA. Okay, uh, I when I saw this, I said, okay, something's not right here. And so you will see, and I'll show you again. You'll see this woman after they picked up the floor, she is going to stick her tongue out. Okay, and I show you guys many videos where you have civilian perps walking towards me, sticking their tongue out at me. All right, even today, when I went to take my daughter to school, right, as took my phone out to start recording as I normally do, you had these teenagers from the high school next to my daughter's school doing this, taking their tongue and sticking it on the inside of their mouth, right? So that it's like that. Every time they pass by me, they would do that. Okay, let's again. Come on now, you gotta think. Talk about thinking. You gotta think, right? These predator police officers engaging in psychological manipulation, brainwashing, in order to create a certain narrative. Okay, and we got to see this for what it is, right? The brainwashing of a decorated Navy officer, all right? And then you have all of a sudden, remember, she disappeared for 2 days. Her family didn't hear from her for 2 days. She disappeared for 2 days, and she shows up at the childhood home of Martin Luther King Jr. Hear the sirens there because they know they know I'm already breaking down their manipulative tactics, their lies and deceptions. That's why they are with the sirens now. Haven't heard the sirens all morning, except for now that I'm doing this because I recognize what it is, the conditioning and the programming that they've done to this woman, and to try to make it see, this is a publicity stunt for them. But the public are being deceived and don't even understand and notice and realize what's going on. Okay, so let's play the video and I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah. See, what these crooked dark triads would do that are on the police force is to create situation in which they can keep a tab on people who they have conditioned, brainwashed, put into coercive persuasion program, labeled as mentally ill, right? So they can have so their agenda. What is their agenda? Their agenda is to eliminate threats, right? And how do they do that? By engaging in covert warfare, also covert psychological warfare, in order to microchip those who they consider a threat. And it could be for any reason. Okay? So when I talk about the NYPD being the baby CIA, there's a reason why I say that. Because for decades, the CIA has placed its agents within particularly large city police departments: Chicago, LA, New York, Miami. And the reason why I say this because when you look at those states in which particularly black men are being exonerated for murder, and also when you look at how police officers engage in psychological manipulation, psychological brainwashing to get people to confess the crime they didn't commit. There's a whole study on this. It's called uh, uh, false confession, right? In which police officers, usually detective, right, they have been trained in the art of psychological brainwashing, psychological manipulation. Okay? And so what they do, and particularly within the black community and black men in particular, and black boys, is to use psychological tactics and methods in order to get people to confess, or even commit crimes. So you look at the Central Park Five, right? You look at that case in particular, and this goes back from what, the um, early '90s, and what they did to those teenagers, those teenage boys, black boys. Okay, that's a crime in itself. What they did. None of these police officers ever been convicted of this crime, right? Of psychological manipulation, brainwashing young teenage boys to confess into a crime they didn't commit. And then what happened decades later? They didn't commit the crime. Not also that, they ignore all department policies and law in which that they cannot question minors without their parents or their lawyer being there as the representative. And then on top of that, but they left them in these holding rooms for hours and give them nothing to eat. Give them nothing to eat. So what do you think happens when you're hungry? It starts to affect your mind. You're hungry, you're tired, they keep them up. It's torture. What they did to these young boys was torture. But it's okay because they're black boys, right? It's totally okay because they're black and they're boys. So that's totally okay. These officers should have been arrested and charged with crime against humanity. They should have been arrested and charged with conduct unbecoming of police officers. Right? But I keep saying, just a lot of us black people, and especially the Negropeans, think that because we live in a big city like New York City, that there is no racism. Okay? We know about also these so-called black sites in Chicago. I think the one in is it Alabama, right, where they uncovered these so-called black sites. And black sites is a term that the CIA created for extrajudicial rendition of suspects or what have you. And at those sites, what do you think they engage in? Torture. And also in Holman Square in Chicago and the one in Alabama, what did these police officers engage in? Torture. Okay? Don't be fooled by this. This is a PR stunt to show people that, yeah, or the NYPD, all the way in Alabama, is it Alabama or Georgia? In Georgia, right? Just happened to save Dr. Martin Luther King house from being burned down. Like, these people really believe that, you know, American public is gullible, particularly black people, because they know how, when it comes to black people and MLK, the connection is very strong. So it's to put the New York Predator Department in a positive light. Don't be fooled for this. Just look at the circumstance. This woman, decorated Navy veteran, Disappeared, went missing for 2 days. Then she shows up with a can of gasoline at MLK House, the childhood home, which just so happened to be at that exact time two NYPD officers just so happened to be visiting the home, right? And on top of that, right after she finished pouring the gasoline, she went into the bushes to get her lighter. Now look at what she's wearing. She's wearing a sweater which has pockets, right? And we know Austins don't, they don't hide their lighter in the bushes. They don't do that. They have the lighter on them. Why would you do that? You have a pocket. You have a jacket on. You have pockets. So why would you even do that? Come on, come on now. Now, why is he panning the phone camera to take a shot of the wheel of the vehicle, right? Of the SUV, right? Vehicle. Why is that? Why is he specifically turning this phone camera, to take a video of the vehicle wheel? And I talk about this, right? How they'll stare at the vehicle wheels, like the tires, right? Again, that's not something that you would do normally. I mean, remember, this stuff is staged, and I can recognize this stuff, and I'm going to show you guys this stuff, right? There's a reason why they do these things. Okay, and I want to show you guys this part. There, you see? So she came back down to grab her lighter. Again, that doesn't make any sense, right? You would have your lighter in your pocket, okay? So, again, doesn't make any sense at all. But I want you to understand the extent that these dog tried within these police department they go through in order to do these PR stunts to make people think and to put them in a positive light. Manipulation, deception. Manipulation and deception. You must understand what's going on here. Okay? You must understand this. She's not saying nothing. She's being quiet. You know, she's just Okay. Now I want to show you guys this part here, right? So now watch as he takes the for her. What was she? Do you see how she stick out her tongue? She has not said anything. Okay. And I've shown you guys this. Okay. Watch. There you go. I need to pause it at the exact moment. Okay. Right there. Oh, that was quick. That was quick. Right there. Okay. Do you see that? Do you see it right there? What have I been showing you guys for the past decade? When the civilian perp walked towards me, they will stick their tongue out at me. Okay? This woman have been brainwashed to do this, and this is the work of the New York Predator Department. This is their work, their deception, their manipulation. Okay? You don't believe me? Again, there have been stories in the newspaper about the CIA planting its agents in the NYPD, but it's this, the report is after 9/11, but we know that's not true because we know in the 1980s the Iran Contra scandal, we know the CIA, the DEA all played a key role, right, in allowing drugs to come into the black community and then confiscating these drug bust money so they can take it and buy arms from Iran and ship it to uh, I forgot what country it is in South America, Nicaragua, right, in South America. The CIA have agents in all major police stations in America. They've been in there for decades. They've taught police officers psychological manipulation tactics, brainwashing tactics. Okay, and particularly when you start to see how, again, go read the report on police misconduct when it comes to false confession. Right, I have a few research papers on that, and I can't remember exactly the name of them, but you can go Google it. You can go Google it. Police misconduct in false confession cases. All right, and we see that particularly within the black community, how they would just take any black man off the street and charge them with a crime they didn't commit because they want to solve the case, and it didn't matter about justice for the victims. All that matters is they can grab a black man or a black boy off the streets and charge him with that crime. Okay, these are the dark tribe personality types, and they will go through any. They will do anything, right, to put them in a good light, including this, because again, this right here makes no sense, and the fact that when I listen to the story about this, I'm like, nah, that don't seem right. That do not seem right. Okay, she went missing for 2 days. She shows up at MLK Child Home at the exact moment of time you had two NYPD officers visiting there. New York, two New York City Predator Department officers visiting there. Right? That is a heck of a PR stunt, let me tell you. But I'm here to expose it. And like I said, it wasn't until I saw her did this, sticking out of her tongue, is when I realized and understood that yeah, she's brainwashed. She is brainwashed, and this is what they made her do in order to engage in a positive spin on the New York City Police Department that have engaged in the violation of black men and black women's rights for decades, and they're trying to make themselves look or put themselves in a better light by brainwashing this woman to do this to make themselves look as their heroes. Okay? Don't fall for their manipulation. Don't fall for their lies. Don't fall for their tactics. All right? I'll talk to you guys in the next video.